Now, the term failed wonder kid is so common in football because every season new stars pop onto the scene and everybody sat telling themselves, this is a future Ballon d'Or winner. This is the player that's going to revolutionize and elevate the game. This is a player that's going to cement their name amongst some of the greats. And then a few years later, we sit down and tell ourselves, wow, what a failed wonder kid. This player didn't fulfill his potential. But nothing gets more mysterious than the case of Luka Jovic. There was a period in his career where he was labelled the Serbian Wonderkid. There was a period in his career where he broke the Bundesliga record, becoming the youngest player in the German division to score 5 goals in one game. There was a period in his career where Los Blancos, Real Madrid, paid £60 million for his signature. Luka Jovic's career, it's been a roller coaster. The rise, the downfall, and maybe, just maybe, we are beginning to see the rise once again at 27 years old. Okay, let's talk some football. You see those introductions, they are so difficult to come up with on the spot. But Luka Jovic, reborn, back from the dead. I call him the Undertaker. You see in WWE when the Undertaker's, and then he's up. Luka Jovic. We have to speak about his career. We have to speak about this resurgence. Yes, some might say it's only been a month. But I've seen a lot. And I've seen Luka Jovic roll back the years to Frankfurt. Now, if we were just to look at his career, Red Star Belgrade, Benfica, he goes to Frankfurt. And let's just say he takes the Bundesliga by a storm. I think in his first campaign, he scores 25 goals in 50 games. That's a ratio of 1 in 2. He was one of the hottest properties in the market. He was one of the hottest number 9s. He was lethal. He was deadly. He had it all. He had the pace and power. He had the physicality. He had the technical ability. And this dude's ball striking was out of this world. That earned him a £60 million move to Real Madrid. And they looked at him and said, you are our 9. You are our striker. And the reason why I look at Luka Jovic's case, and I tell myself, it's a mystery. It really, really, really is. It's because sometimes you look at failed wonder kids and you tell yourself, where did it go wrong? What happened? Maybe it's things off the pitch. Maybe it's the fact that they don't have the mentality, the character to perform week in, week out. They can't work with certain managers within certain systems. They struggle to adapt. Luka Jovic, it's not even like he had a career-ending injury like some failed wonder kids. Luka Jovic, for me, he's hardly had any big injuries. He's hardly had any falling outs with clubs, managers, players. He's represented some of the world's biggest of clubs. But it's just never ever kicked on for him ever since Frankfurt. I feel like he's been so unfortunate. And this is where I want to speak on his mentality. Because when you're a young player and you pop onto the scene and everybody sat telling you, you are the Serbian Wonderkid. That was his nickname, the Serbian Wonderkid in the Bundesliga with Frankfurt. When your career doesn't go to plan, so many players, they throw their toys out the pram. They get moody. They get angry. They start saying the wrong things. They start behaving in the wrong way. They start blaming everybody but themselves. Luka Jovic is a true professional throughout his entire career. No matter where he's gone, and you could seriously make a case, the amount of clubs that he's represented where they haven't given him a fair chance. Like a manager walks in that puts his arm across his shoulder and tells him, you might not score for the next 5 games, but I am going to stick by you. You might not score for the next 10 games, but I am going to stick by you. And it's my duty as a coach, as a manager, to keep instilling that confidence in you in game 10, in game 11, in game 12. And I feel like he hasn't really been given a fair crack at a lot of the teams that he's represented. He's been a fringe player, somebody that comes on when they've got injuries, somebody that's a rotational piece. But Luka Jovic, his mentality for me, it's top tier because this is a player that definitely looks in the mirror and tells himself, I'm not where I thought I would be when I was 20, 21. I haven't had the career that I thought I would. Even his friends, his family are probably looking at him and saying, we expected more. But his career isn't over. This could be the beginning of something special because how many times have we looked at players and said they had a rough 5, 6, 7 years? But at the age of 27, they kicked on. At the age of 27, the maturity kicked in. At the age of 27, They finally understood their body, their strengths, their weaknesses, how they like to play the game. They finally adapted. Luka Jovic, as of late, with Milan, like during a crisis of a season, let's be honest. Alvaro Morata didn't really pull strings. Tammy Abraham, cameos here and there. Milan pumps serious money into Santi Jimenez. He starts off on fire, he fades away. And then the opportunity presented itself to Luka Jovic, a player that's on loan from Fiorentina. Can you step up? Can you show us you belong here? Can you tell us why we brought you on loan from Fiorentina? Can you tell us why you were labelled as the Serbian Wonderkid? And I feel like, as of late, like a goal against Fiorentina, a goal against Napoli, 2 goals against Inter in the Coppa Italia semi-final. This is a player that's delivering the goods in some of Milan's biggest of games this season. And the funny thing is, he's hardly played. He's actually hardly played this season. But the thing I love about him the most, and this is why it's actually crazy. Like, let's just speak football fan to football fan. Don't look at me as a YouTube content creator. Fan to fan. How many times have you seen players pop onto the scene and you're like, I will never ever sell stocks. I will always support you. I will always back you. Because there was a period in your career where I saw something. And what I saw, I can't erase it. And I know you can do it week in, week out, but maybe it's just a matter of environments. Maybe it's just a matter of coach. Maybe it's the ecosystem. But I still trust you to get it going once again. And so many times, players in their 7th year as a professional footballer, they finally kick on. Luka Jovic. At the moment, he's on a 1-season loan deal from Fiorentina. Now, Milan, they've got the option to trigger it for another season, but that clause needs to be submitted and it needs to be triggered before the end of the campaign. And I'll be honest with you guys, I understand it's only been a month, but what this dude brings on a technical level to Milan, like now, let's talk football. The goals he's shown throughout his career. I can score goals. Yes, I can be wasteful. Every striker is wasteful. Yes, I can have dips in form. Every striker has dips in form. But some of the goals that he's been scoring, guys, the header against Inter, that's not a joke. His ball striking, he's shown it throughout his career. I would definitely trigger it. Mainly because Milan have now stumbled across a player that's finally beginning to enjoy their football. For the first time in 7-8 years, Luka Jovic is finally enjoying his football in a Milan team that's 9th. And you could see the impact. Like, just from watching him from a technical level, I'm sat telling myself, Pulisic must love playing with you. Rafa Leao must love playing with you. When the ball is fed into him, it sticks to his feet. He connects the dots. He brings players in the game. And I feel like what maybe has held him back a lot throughout his career is how selfless he is. He isn't one of those strikers that goes onto the pitch and tells himself, I'm the 9, I must score. No, I will play a team game. I will sacrifice myself for the team. I will pass rather than shooting, even though I know in the back of my head I haven't scored in 6 months. You need a profile like that. You need a character like that. And for me, his mentality, the fact that throughout his career, up, down, a lack of trust, a lack of patience, he's always remained calm, composed. And those are the players you need in your squad. And I feel like he now looks at himself and says, maybe 4 or 5 years of my career have been wasted. But now it's time to make it up. I'm playing catch up. He's hungry, okay? Let's just say, shout out Dusan Kulusevski. I'm hungry. Let's eat. Luka Jovic, from what I've seen of the past month, it's special. I really hope he keeps it up from now up until the end of the season. And if he does, he leaves Milan with a very, very, very nice headache. Because, listen, you've got the option to extend him for another year. You've got the option to even sign him on a permanent basis. If the dude is flourishing and the dude is delivering the goods and he is benefiting the team in more ways than just scoring goals, that is a player you definitely take a gamble on. Especially when you bear in mind he was the Serbian Wonderkid. But listen, this resurgence, I'm all for it. I love it. I'm actually so happy for him. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't even know the dude. He don't even know me. But I'm actually so happy for him. Because what I saw when he was in the Bundesliga, I knew this player was talented. But things in life happen. We're all human. Sometimes life doesn't give you what you want at the time you want it. But I'm all for it. Now, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And I will catch you guys on another one.